Picture a game of chess between two of history's most formidable players. On one side sits Napoleon Bonaparte, the brilliant French emperor who seemed unstoppable. On the other, Tsar Alexander I of Russia, a man whose story is filled with as many twists and mysteries as the Russian winter is long. In 1801, Alexander ascended to the Russian throne under dark circumstances. His father, Paul I, was assassinated, and whispers suggested Alexander might have known about the plot. He was just 23, educated in the enlightened ideas of freedom and democracy, yet destined to rule as an absolute monarch over the vast Russian Empire. At first, Alexander actually admired Napoleon. Who wouldn't? The French emperor was revolutionizing warfare and reshaping Europe. But as Napoleon's ambitions grew, Alexander saw him for what he truly was. Not a reformer, but a conqueror who threatened the very existence of European monarchies. Their relationship soured, and despite a temporary peace with the Treaty of Tilsit in 1807, both men knew a showdown was coming. Then, in 1812, Napoleon made his fatal mistake. He invaded Russia with over 600,000 troops, confident in what he thought would be his greatest victory. But Alexander had a different plan, one that would prove absolutely brilliant in its simplicity and brutality. As Napoleon's massive army advanced, the Russians retreated, burning everything in their path. Fields of grain torched, villages abandoned and burned. Even Moscow, the ancient capital, was set ablaze. Napoleon found himself chasing a phantom army across a wasteland. There was no food for his horses, no supplies for his men, and then the Russian winter arrived. The temperature plummeted, and so did Napoleon's chances of victory. Of his grand army of 600,000, fewer than 100,000 made it out alive. The rest were claimed by cold, hunger, and the harassing Russian forces. Alexander transformed from a cautious ruler into Europe's liberator. In 1814, he rode triumphantly into Paris, the man who had brought down the seemingly invincible Napoleon. At the Congress of Vienna, he helped reshape Europe's map, emerging as one of the continent's most powerful leaders. But here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. After his great victory, Alexander changed. He became increasingly religious, withdrawn, and mysterious. In 1825, news spread that he had died suddenly while traveling in the south of Russia. But did he really? A persistent legend claims that he faked his death and spent the rest of his life as a wandering monk named Fyodor Kuzmich. Think about it. The man who outsmarted Napoleon, who ruled the largest empire on earth, might have given it all up to live as a humble monk. Whether true or not, it's a fitting final mystery for a ruler who proved that sometimes the best way to win isn't through force, but through patience, strategy, and letting your enemy defeat himself. The next time you're facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge, remember Alexander's strategy. Sometimes, the path to victory isn't about meeting force with force, but about playing a longer, smarter game.